Hi, my name is Dr. Michael A. Cohen. I'm the developer of the acuProducts. A little bit about myself. I've been a practicing chiropractor, acupuncturist for 33 years. I spent a lot of time traveling around. I've been to over 40 countries studying native healing techniques. And what I came to the conclusion of is that we were underestimating patients' ability to do self-healing work. I started to experiment with that myself about 25 years ago. And initially, I started using tennis balls and golf balls. A lot of my patients at the time were elite athletes that had trainers that were showing them what to do with lacrosse balls, tennis balls, golf balls. And I started using it with my patients for about 6 years. Everybody got a tennis ball routine. It was a very simple way to release muscle tightness and very low cost and effective. And after about 3 years of doing that, I started to feel like, a tennis ball is made for tennis. And after 5 years of doing it, I got a little frustrated because I couldn't work on the spine. And as we know, the spine houses the central nervous system, which is key to our wellness and ability to function well. I got frustrated by year 6, and I made a pledge to myself on a rooftop in Morocco during the millennial celebrations in 1999 that I would create a self-healing tool with my wish list. After frustrations with the tennis ball, I knew that I needed something that allowed patients to work directly on their spine. It had to have that ability because our spine is key to our wellness. I also wanted something that was heatable. Heat is so important at relaxing, calming the nervous system, opening tight, contracted muscles, joints, and connective tissue, and stimulating blood flow to flush out waste that builds up in a muscle that's been tight for a long time. I also knew that it had to have the right shape and design so that users could use it and that it would have give. That give is really important because if you're lying on something and it's hard, you can't really enjoy it. And it also had to be something that would allow users to find a spot and then remain stationary. A lot of people were using foam rollers at the time, which necessitate that people plank their body and roll their body. The issue I had with that is really simple. When you're rolling on a foam roller, you're firing many muscle groups, hundreds of neurons, your nervous system is excited. You can't get into the deep, relaxed state that is necessary for release work at the level I was interested in doing. So I decided to take this on and create the acuBall. Little did I know that I was in for 10 years of hair-pulling, frustrating work. And I knew it would be tough, but I didn't know it would be that tough. No one had ever made a product that was heatable, that you could microwave or boil and create enough heat to make the body relax. So it had to be just the right temperature zone that it would go into.
Your acuBall will not feel hot when you first remove it from the microwave. Allow 1 to 2 minutes to feel the heat. Always practice safe heating. Do not heat your acuBall after 3 years from the date of purchase to avoid possible material failure and injury. And allow your acuBall to completely return to room temperature before reheating it.
Because my name was going to go on this and I wanted it to be a quality product. There was so much absolute junk on the market for sale, and I didn't want to be part of that world. I wanted my product to be the best in the world. And I wanted every home to have one. Just like every home has a hot water bottle to help with our aches and pains, I knew that something that directed pressure into muscles and fascia allowed people by lying on this groove to work directly on their spine and had that heat would make a huge difference in the lives of millions of people around the world. I'm happy to say now, after the 82nd generation of the acuBall has been released, that we've created that product. And it is helping people all around the world. What became apparent after we released the acuBall with the success we had was that we were onto something. We were able to reduce patients' need for care by 30 to 50% on average. And with people that were really tuned in, because I was working with professional athletic teams, the National Ballet of Canada, etc., they were able to do even more than that because they could focus in, find the area that was troubling, and release tight joints in their spine and release tight muscles and connective tissue. And they were able to do this on their own time without making an appointment, without spending money, without going anywhere. And that's what made the difference. They could feel and sense so much better than any practitioner could to exactly where their issues were. So these high-level athletes were showing me that there was even more to the self-healing than I initially thought. In my patient base, we became very convinced that this was a valuable tool to reduce patients' need to see me and, very importantly, tune into their body's innate capability to sense and feel where problems were. Through that process, they became a lot more aware of their body, how they were holding themselves, what posture they were in, what repetitive movements they were making. So they became more capable of taking care of themselves. And it was an amazing byproduct of using it. I also realized after a few years that we needed a different product because the acuBall is wonderful for releasing the spine using this groove, for releasing muscles using our unique patented bi-level nibs, which allow you to relax on the acuBall. And the initial shape of the nib is a hemisphere, so it's soft, very easy. After that, once your muscles have released over 2 minutes, then there's a big flange around that initial hemisphere that expands the muscle. And at that point, your muscle and your nervous system can accept that release. They can't right away. So having all these features in it, including the small nibs at the bottom for facial muscles, TMJ patients, scalp release, we knew we had something powerful, but we also realized it wasn't enough. What about the small muscle groups of the body? What about the hands? What about the feet? What about the small muscles in the shoulder girdle? They could not get as deep a penetration power as I wanted because the nibs on the acuBall were larger than that. Thus, the acuBall Mini was created. And these small nibs are powerful. You really have to feel it to believe how well this works. And it became a favorite of elite athletes throughout North America. We had lots of pro teams using it. And what we kept hearing over and over again was that this was so convenient. People would just put it in their travel bag or their purse and take it anywhere. We knew we had something that between the two balls would cover a large area of the body. What then became apparent was that we needed something for people that were in a lot of pain. If you've got high levels of pain, if you're elderly, if you've got degenerative arthritic change, the acuBall and the Mini were too intense for them. And that's why I developed the acuBack. This allowed people to lie putting their vertebrae here, using either the deeper penetration or the less penetrative aspect, and get release with much less intensity. So for elderly patients, people in pain, people who've had car accidents, this became their go-to tool. We also realized that this would replace a foam roller. When you're on a foam roller and you're moving, it's a lot of work and not possible for someone in pain or elderly. With the acuBack, once you heat it up and you lie on it, you simply find a spot and let go for 3 full minutes. And that allows the acuBack to penetrate and separate the tight muscles and joints, allowing you to help yourself. All of these products are heatable for the simple reason that heat is essential for true restorative and release work. Try using any product that's cold, then try using one that's hot, and you'll feel the difference.
Always follow heating instructions for your own safety. Do not heat your acuBack after 3 years from date of purchase to avoid possible material failure and injury. And always allow your acuBack to return to room temperature before reheating it.
What was important to us was also to look at how we could solve the problem of people that had even more pain. People were having issues after severe accidents, especially car accidents, and they couldn't take anything that was giving them too much pressure. Thus, we developed the acuPads. And these became a favorite of elderly people, people who spend a lot of time sitting at a computer, and we'll go through that later. When you place these under your buttock, they allow your tailbone to release down and decompress your lumbar spine. They rotate your hip joints out about 5 degrees, making your low back come into much better posture. So these became really important for people who wanted to rest, relax, release on a simple, easy tool that wouldn't do that much penetration. Gentle relief. With the range of these products, we're able to help millions of people around the world to help themselves. And that's something that's so important to me. I think we have significantly underestimated our body's innate ability to heal itself. And my personal mission, now that I've been working on this for over 20 years, is to spread that knowledge and wisdom far and wide. In the way that we know people can help themselves, we also know that people need information on how. These are the tools, but what about the knowledge? What about the best practices to use these products? Then we created the Click Where You Hurt app. That allows you to simply click where you hurt on an image of a body, and any part of your body will show up there with a knowledge base that we've developed over many years, not just from my own experience, from clinics and practitioners around the world that have given me feedback in how to best use these products for optimum results. This is free. We don't believe in charging people for information that empowers them to heal. This is free. Download it on your phone, or you can use it on your computer. Either way, with that knowledge and with these tools, you've got a green light to help yourself. Now, a caveat here. I'm a big proponent of self-healing, but it has to be responsible self-healing. If you've got pain and you don't know why, it's your job to go and seek professional evaluation from a healthcare practitioner that you trust, and make sure that there's nothing sinister going on. Once you've got the green light, get healing. Take your time, follow the instructions, and do what you feel your body wants you to do. Every day, peel off a layer of contraction. You'll feel a difference even within a few days, and just keep going. What these do is they help you to focus in on contractions in your muscles and joints and release them. And that's what they should be used for. I want to make something very clear here. We believe in self-healing that is done responsibly, and we want you to reach out to us with any questions you may have. We're here for you. We want to guide you and help you, and we will. As many people have experienced, I call people back personally on the phone. It always shocks them, but that's what we spend our time doing here, making sure that people are responsibly self-healing. So please join us, and please spread this knowledge far and wide to your friends and family and coworkers, because every single body needs an acuProduct.